I'm giving all praises to you. How about Shem Yahushua, by Shem Kakadash, step out unto the apostles and elders, the GMS, the rule, and teach well in the scriptures, salutations to my Akim out there doing this work in truth and faith and in sincerity.
It is a stunning turn of events, even by the standards of what has been a chaotic Trump presidency. The joint session of Congress was meeting to certify the electoral vote. This is the final step that Congress makes before the inauguration of a new president, which takes place here in Washington just 2 weeks from today. They were going to certify the win of Joe Biden over President Trump, but supporters of the president, who got fired up by a 75-minute speech over here by the White House earlier in the afternoon, made their way down toward the Capitol and managed to breach the buildings there. The Capitol Police were just overwhelmed by the number of protesters. We are seeing, Daneka, these protesters in unprecedented places. We understand that there was an armed standoff as protesters tried to make their way onto the House floor. We've also seen a stunning image of a protester who managed to make it to the dais at the front of the Senate chamber. So certainly a very tense situation, a very scary situation right now. And the Capitol Police are asking for help from both the local and federal authorities.
And what's been the response to this, Karen? I understand that a curfew is now in place.
Yeah, the District of Columbia Mayor Muriel Bowser has now issued a 6 p.m. curfew here in the District of Columbia. Mayor spoke this morning and said she had been preparing for protests. This has been a date that has been circled on the calendar by President Trump's supporters, and President Trump himself had indicated that he would participate in the events around it, the day that marks this certification of the electoral vote. This is something that dates back to 1887, and it is a process on Capitol Hill that typically goes off without a hitch. Most Americans don't even notice it. Most Americans didn't even know what the process was going to be today until there were extensive walkthroughs of it, as a number of the president's Republican allies said that they would pose challenges to the outcomes that were delivered by the state. So it's been a civics lesson for even Americans trying to understand the process that was going to go on today, simply because this flies under the radar. It does not attract protests. By the time you get to January 6th, typically all of the rancor of the November election has passed, and members of Congress and the American people are willing to accept the results. But this is something that President Trump has kept on, making these baseless allegations about widespread electoral fraud that even his former Attorney General Bill Barr said he did not see evidence of. And so with that, the president's words earlier this afternoon, these supporters of the president took off for the Capitol. And right now we have lawmakers sheltering in place, getting prepared with gas masks. And, Daneka, the President Trump's own Vice President, Mike Pence, who is presiding over the events at the Capitol, had to be evacuated.
Just extraordinary scenes, Karen, and really one person that can stop these protests is Donald Trump. Now, he's called for calm protests, but clearly that message is being ignored.
Yeah, and this has gone on now for a while now, with the president just making that one tweet that said to support the U.S. Capitol Police and stay calm. We do understand that the White House is preparing to issue a statement soon on what is happening at the Capitol. Now, the president had suggested to the crowd that was gathered earlier that maybe he would join them in these protests and go to the Capitol, but he did not. He returned to the White House, and of course, those who did continue on to the Capitol, this is the situation that has unfolded, and it is absolutely unprecedented. You know, there have been a number of demonstrations and protests over the Trump presidency, and certainly this summer as those protests over racial injustices really flared up with D.C. at the center. But we have never seen anything like this, and it is certainly something that Americans should be keeping a close eye on. The world should be keeping a close eye on, because these are our lawmakers who are simply going about the process of following the Constitution for the continuity of government here in the...
This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there will be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings. Those kings are your presidents, prime ministers, so on and so forth, of the ones that are in power, nor princes, the lesser of the ones that are in power, the ones that are joined unto the ones in power. Okay? And the course of their actions shall be in their power. That means that it's going to become a lawless society out here. Okay? And we're seeing the beginning stages of that starting in America with the storming of the Capitol building.
United States for moving on to a new administration, and now they are finding themselves in a very dire situation.
It doesn't matter that.
Fascism, this is very serious. I would say this. It's like tag somebody with a fascist label. It's game. There's no discussion. You have to know. And so you take the white working class as a whole. And you say they're basically fascistic. That means it's game over. You can't, so you condemn the whole white working class using identity politics. And I'm a white man. It's just all in the
This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Okay, so we have to remember that upon the time of Yahweh Shai, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, upon that time where the Lord fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, you have to understand Satan came unto him and offered him and tempted the Lord, offered him the world, the kingdom. Okay? Now, with the wisdom of Yahweh Shai, he understands that the world is already given unto him. Okay? He already understood that, and that Satan would have the world for a short period of time. So, this world that we're in Satan's world, in Satan's kingdom. Okay? And Lord willing, the righteous kingdom comes more sooner than later. Okay? And as a matter of fact, let me get that. Salaki, give me one moment, Akim. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 2. Well, let's start at the top. This is Matthew chapter 4, starting at the top. Then was Yahushua led up to the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil, Satan. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, this is red letter, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and sitteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, If thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against the stone. Yahushua said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. And again, this is the point. The devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and said unto him, These things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then said Yahushua HaMashiach unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. So we're coming into the cusp of this place, okay? Kahalaya, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakah HaKwadash, and until next time, Shalom.